Steve Rhodes, what's going on?
Well, it has to be a great time to be in the Tampa area, sports-wise. I mean, you've got a Stanley Cup victory. Congrats
Seriously.
there. When we last talked, it was really just after, I think, Game 1. And I'd mentioned that they were a little bit lethargic. But I was saying they had just played 2 overtime games with about a one-day break in there. But, boy, they were just as strong as can be. And it has to be a blast in Tampa. With that, you've got the Rays in the pennant race out here. They're playing New York tonight, I believe, right? And then you've got the Bucks winning.
Seriously, man, I know
it's a trifecta. It's a beautiful thing.
And what does happen, folks, which is really cool. Tampa is a sports town, and what's really impressive to me, like Steve's from the North, I'm from the North. Between Detroit and Boston, they're hockey town nuts. Period.
Totally.
But Tampa's a hockey town nut, and they once they came in, man, it's pretty cool, man. I mean, it really is,
Tom, when I moved from Detroit down to Florida, and then when Tampa got their team going, I would drive over there for games. I would especially drive over when the Red Wings were in town. And my son used to play travel hockey, so we would be over in the Tampa area, Sarasota area often. And if it worked out on the way back, if after his game they happened to be in town, we would stop. And I remember the first time that we did that, he and one of his teammates, we stopped, and it was the Rangers that were in town, and we got 3 seats. And I, when you talk about from the north to the south, there were way more. There was predominantly Rangers jerseys, in the venue. And when I go to watch the games with Detroit, it's typically a red jersey area. So a lot of support from the north for the teams that are down here. Whether it's the Yankees, whether it's Boston, it's great. So it's got to be great for you to live there. I don't even know how I'm going to watch the games. So you got New England and Kansas City playing tonight. So that's going to be a great football game.
That's a big one. Mahomes. Yeah. I like Mahomes too, man.
Oh yeah.
I love watching him, man.
I agree. He's throwing balls from all different angles, and
seriously,
it's great. It's great to watch. So in any event, so I just thought we'd start there. But let's take a look at. Let me just switch over here to my screen. My chart screen's out here, and we're in October the 5th out here, and we've always heard about that October surprise. And the question is, this is a trick or a treat? We talk about trick or treat. You were talking about the volume characteristics of the market compared to like in the NDX 100, the move lower. I don't remember the numbers out there, but any of the moves higher, whether it's the SPYs, whether it's the diamonds, whether it's the IWM, whether it's the QQQs, just majorly light volume. So is it a trick? Is it a treat? What is? Is there going to be a different October surprise for the stock market? So here is our seasonal chart. It's really apropos for our discussion today. On average, and over the last 86 years out here, the Dow has bottomed around October the 13th. So that would be next Tuesday. So our cycle date is next Tuesday. The question we always have to ask ourselves is, these cycle dates don't always work, Tom, to the day. In fact, rarely do they do it to the day. When they do, I'm just always like shaking my head. But it's an average. So we're looking for bottom type patterns for inside the Dow around this October time frame. So that's the first thing. So here I'm going to put up a chart of the actual Dow itself. And here there's actually, I'm showing a Gartley buy pattern. So in a Gartley buy pattern, I'll mention really a couple of things on this chart out here. The Gartley buy pattern, folks, what a Gartley pattern is when you have a large run up or a run down, and you want to be able to get in on that. So here's a large run up inside the Dow off of the. This is just taking a look at the mid-June time frame. Obviously, we can come back even further into March. So just from the mid-June time frame. But there was the A to B equals CD. Now for me, Tom, the pattern completes when when the bulls generate a signal. And that signal is a Japanese reversal candle typically out here, and the gap up last week, might have been Monday's gap up, is the bullish signal that confirmed this Gartley buy pattern. Now, every Gartley buy pattern has 5 different potential outcomes. The first 4 or the first 3 are retracements, 0.382, 618. I don't think we're at this 0.618 retracement just yet, 786. And then your coined 100% move would be the 4th outcome. The 5th outcome is that it turns into a larger A to B equals CD to the upside. So I don't want to deal with that just yet because we're not there. But the action today, it's not being confirmed by volume, but by taking out a prior swing point from a few days ago, we can draw on an A to B equals CD to the upside. And we have a valid bottoming signal out here. So we may see the Dow make a move up to 28,887, maybe 29,296. Again, the volume doesn't support it. A number of things don't support it, but these are the patterns that are in play as we speak right now. So coming back to the seasonal cycle, yeah, we've got a seasonal cycle bottom, but that still doesn't. Oh, another thing I was going to point out on this chart, folks, is that when we made the highs back here in September, there's a number 9 up there. This is referring to the TD9 count pattern. And when markets will make, in this pattern here, folks, no matter what time frame you use, on bars 8, 9, or the bar following 9 is when you can get the top or the bottom. So here it just happens to be a recent chart for the Dow. Now, this is a daily time frame. What I want to do from here, and why this could be, and why I'm looking at this, could be a real October surprise, and that surprise could be to the downside. Now, maybe it's not October, maybe it's November, after the elections. But here, when we take a look at the Dow, when it topped in 2009, by the way, it was also with the TD9 count. It was the bar following bar 9, and then we saw basically a 3-year correction from there. Where we're at right now for this calendar year, now I can't make the call until the year closes, but at this stage of the game, it looks like we're going to also have another TD9 count pattern. So the interesting thing about that, let's say that this TD9 count pattern identifies the top. That's why I'm saying, hey, maybe this is an October surprise. We make a high, we make this rally up here, it becomes a lower high, and then that's it. And then the market is set for a move. And if it is set for a move lower, if we go back to 1896, which is all this data that I'm looking at, when we see, and this is a yearly chart we're looking at, when we see corrections, they typically lead to 2 to 4 year cycles. And you'll see those labeled here with the red numbers. Now, this is taking us back to 1896 into about 1965. If we come to the 70s, since the 70s, the Dow corrections have lasted 2 to 3 years. And you can see that here marked with the count. So if this is a October surprise or a 2020 surprise, and Lord knows we've had lots of surprises out here, we could be looking at a move that moves lower into 2022 out here. That's what my charts are showing at this stage of the game.
And what's so interesting, Steve, is that who would ever thought, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the marketplace, folks, okay? The probability that between Friday and Monday this market would shake it off, I don't know what that probably is, but let me tell you something. It's like close to 99%. And so that would work out because the people that say, hey, it's shooking everything off, and then all of a sudden it didn't, right? It's like,
yeah, no doubt. These markets have gotten a little psychotic. Hey,
wow.
Tom, always good to see you.
Have a great one, man. Have a safe one. Come right back, folks.